Welcome back to Central Valley Talk. If it is Thursday and we're in the 11 o'clock hour, it is the show Authors and Artists. We've been talking to so many interesting artists, and I love authors, so many interesting authors and artists. I love authors who I can really relate to their works because they're kind of based here and around where we're from. Our next guest is David Borofka, and you've got a couple books out.
I do. This one came out a year ago.
In fact, here's the covers. The one on the left came out about a year ago.
Right. And then the one on the right, Coolest American Stories, is an anthology of stories, one of which is mine, which is also included in A Longing for Impossible Things.
Is that multiple authors?
Yes, it is.
Coolest American Stories. Now, Longing for Impossible Things, that's the one on the left. That's out now, and we can get it where?
Through Amazon, through Barnes & Noble, bookshop.org, any online retailer,
Right.
and certainly any brick-and-mortar store can order it as well.
I'm just lazy. I go to Amazon, I press the button, it just comes, no shipping charges.
Right.
So. But I used to, in the old days, love to spend hours at the bookstore.
Sure.
I haven't done that in years.
You know, the model of the industry has changed so much. It seems like we almost go to the online retailer first, and then sometimes we'll go to the brick and mortar store to see if it's available
if it's
there.
available, yeah. Now, A Longing for Impossible Things, they're stories.
That is correct.
Did you write them all at once, or is this
No,
years and years?
this was a book that was probably 20, 25 years in the making.
There's a bunch of short stories?
A bunch
long
of short stories. Some are a little longer, but most of them are about the same length. I'd say anywhere from, right around 20 pages probably.
Now, you're from the Valley?
Well, I've been here for so long, it feels like I'm from the Valley. I've been here for 40 years.
And is that what these stories are?
Most of
A
them.
Longing for Impossible Things?
Most of them do take place in the Valley. That's right.
And will we recognize places in the stories?
I sure hope so. I sure hope you will. If you don't, I haven't done my job.
haven't done the job, yeah. And generally, what are the stories about?
Well, many of the stories, in fact, the very first story you'll recognize going down the old Highway 180, going through Centerville and Minkler,
Yep.
and some of the orchard land around there. Other stories take place in Fresno, and other stories kind of generally in the Central Valley. And then the other kind of place of my existence was in the Portland area.
Portland.
So a few will take place up there as well.
Interesting. You can't go east on the 180 and see Centerville and Minkler anymore.
Not unless you choose to do it.
Yeah,
you have to go find it.
I've been trying to slow down and do that, but I haven't found. You got to go around and in. And
That's right.
something
It's
out.
a little different. It's a different drive these days.
Now, from this book, The Longing, A Longing for Impossible Things, one of your stories was chosen to go into this work.
Right.
Coolest American Stories 2023.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a fun anthology. 13 different stories, 13 different authors, and we're just pleased as punch at how the book is doing.
Right, that's great. So, how did somebody put it together? Did all the authors get together?
No, Mark Wish, Elizabeth Coffey. It's a husband and wife team. Mark is an author from a long time back. In fact, he and I have had stories in the same journals together.
It's happened before.
Yeah, and I'm talking about 30 years ago that happened. Mark, he's got a new novel that'll be coming out himself in the winter, so we'll see a new book by him soon enough. And then he and his wife have committed to doing this anthology. This is actually the second in the Coolest American Stories series. They'll be doing a third for 2024 here coming up soon.
Now, I see your name on the cover of this book. Tell us about that.
This is a new book that will be coming out this fall, The End of Good Intentions. And again, it does take place here in the Valley. I've sort of taken the premise of a Christian college located up in the foothills of the Sierra. And the kind of the evolution, really, I think, of, to some degree, the evangelical movement from the 70s into close to today. And that's where that novel is
That's
placed.
where it came from. Now, you were teaching at Reedley College.
That's right. I retired 4 years ago.
I taught at Kings River Community College.
That's where I started.
Yeah, it was same. It's the same college. They changed the name before and again after.
That's
so.
right. That's
and
right.
here's a new building. Something's happening out there.
Yeah, they're building it right now. This is the McClarty Fine and Performing Arts Center on the Reedley College campus at the very north end of campus. It should be ready to go this fall. We're all very excited to see it come into existence. It'll be 500 seats.
A new college building is an exciting thing.
It's a wonderful thing. You know, I taught there for 35 years or so, and during that whole time, I think there was one brand new building. And now the college has had kind of an explosion of new buildings go up.
It may be one of the most beautiful colleges around.
It's great. I mean, how many colleges, a community college, how many of them have farms?
Right, farms.
So we have a full farm out there, and this new building is actually located right on the edge of the farm. So,
and it was the only community college with dorms.
I think there's one other one besides Reedley, but that is one of the distinct differences between it and the rest of the system.
Yeah. Now, with the new building, there's going to be new events.
New events. We hope to kind of break the new building in with Mas Masamoto coming in October. He's one of our favorite people. Mas has had a long history with Reedley College over the years. When we first got a speaker series going, probably, I don't know, more than 25 years ago, Mas was really one of our very first people. And he comes back periodically, and he's got a new book that's coming out. In fact, it just came out this spring, and so he'll be reading from that in October.
Nice.
I'll be reading from my new book in November, and then we will have our new One Book, One College selection for the spring of 2024. Javier Zamora with his memoir, Solido, which has been getting all kinds of rave reviews around the country.
That's great. Here's a little poster for it. And by the way, you have a website too, davidborofka.com. What would we find there?
You'll find some of the things that I've done in the past, as well as events that are coming up for me. So I know something relatively soon is the Writers' Fair over at the Fig Garden Library branch over there in Woodward Park. I'm sorry, not Fig Garden, but Woodward Park. I think that'll be coming up in May. So
very good. I guess a big message I want to leave our viewers with is we have a great writer from right here in our area. Go to Amazon, and we're going to close with the two books. Will be on the screen, so I'll leave them up there if you want to copy stuff down. But Coolest American Stories and The Longing for Impossible Things, David Borofka. Do I say your name right?
Yes, you did.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's a hard one. And I'll leave these books up. Anything else you want our viewers to know?
No, I'm just so happy to see so many different events taking place here in the Valley.
Oh, it is. It's really become a cultured place, and I appreciate that very much.
Right.
We will be back with more Central Valley Talk right after this.